on to the special meeting of the Morrisville Borough Council, Tuesday, January 16th, 2018. This is our work session. We're going to have two special presentations tonight, so we're going to get those out of the way first before we get into the I'm sorry? Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. I'll have to speak louder. I'm having a hard time. We have someone here, Ms. Hess, who's going to be talking about the manager search. And then we have our gentleman, owner from Keystone, that is our municipal codes, and he's going to be giving a short presentation too. So everyone wants to hear that first. And our solicitor, Mr. Randy Flager, is here with his team, so we can introduce his staff too as well. Mr. Parker.
Let's start with Rich.
Okay.
Rich O'Brien, Keystone Municipal Services. Come here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I kind of already did it while people were
Okay.
coming in. Is that thing on? Talk loud.
I really don't need the mic, frankly. I can speak loud. My name is Rich O'Brien. I'm with Keystone Municipal Services. Keystone Municipal Services is a third-party agency certified by the Department of Labor and Industry for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to serve as a construction code official and a building code official defined within Act 45, which is the Uniform Construction Code. Keystone Municipal Services was started in January of 2002 with the mission to be the best and most complete third-party agency in the Southeast region for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The term municipal in our name is very important. We only work for municipalities and municipal entities. We do not serve developers or builders or private applicants. We strictly serve as an advocate for our municipal clients. Right now, Keystone Municipal Services serves in that capacity both as a building inspector and zoning officer in 54 municipalities in the Southeast region in Pennsylvania. Some are larger communities, some are smaller communities like yours. We have a staff of 43 people currently on staff, and they are experienced in all types of construction, going from small residential projects to commercials to shopping centers to hospitals down in Middletown. We did most of the inspections for St. Mary's Hospital down in Middletown Township.
Just to give you an idea of scale, not to interrupt Rich, but Bucks County has 54 municipalities. So I mean, his business is
Right now, we serve about 70% of Bucks County.
Yeah.
And what's nice is we tend to serve in those communities in a low profile. Most of the residents don't even realize that it is a third-party agency. They call it the township. It is the township that responds to their requests, both for questions as far as zoning administration and serving as their building inspector. And 99% of the residents don't even realize that it is a third-party agency. Staff right now, again, as I explained, we have 42 staff currently with 2 PEs serving as building inspectors and zoning officers. In addition, we have a lead certified professional who also serves as a plan reviewer and a zoning officer. And we have an AICP planner, which his name is Steve Ware. He's actually the person that we have assigned to serve as your zoning officer here in Morrisville. While building inspection and zoning administration is certainly the largest portion of our business, we do a number of reports and report work for municipalities. We've been involved with Norristown for the 770 Sandy Street project. We work with West Whiteland out in Chester County. East Vincent, we did the sewer rate study for East Vincent Township. We just did the new Justice Center in Doylestown Borough, where we served as the accessibility inspector for there. In addition, just recently we did a new fee schedule for Chadds Ford Township, and I think that is the 12th or 14th fee schedule that we've done in the last few years. Specifically, again, working with municipalities and serving their needs. In closing, what sets Keystone apart from other third-party agencies? One, we believe, is our commitment to municipalities. in that we just serve as an advocate for our municipal clients. Second thing is our experience working with those municipalities. And when you hire Keystone, you get a staff. You do not get one person, you get a staff of trained, certified, experienced professionals that allows your residents to have the most professional and knowledgeable service available. And lastly, this is what we do. We are building inspectors and we are zoning administrators. We're not township engineers. We don't do anything else for municipalities. Again, we serve as an advocate for our municipal clients, specifically within the niche of a building inspector and zoning administrator. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
I've got one quick question, if I could. Steve Ware, do we have specific hours where he's in the office?
He is available, he's in the office Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, he actually also serves as a zoning officer in Yardley Borough.
Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it's like the 8 to 4-ish?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
here most of the day.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
How much is all this? Because I didn't see any sort of breakdown as to cost.
I did submit a proposal to the community. Honestly, I forget what your hourly rate was. It's certainly in the information that's before you tonight.
65. There's a 2018 rate schedule attached to the agreement.
Have everyone got that agreement? I think the one thing that you also would need to know about Keystone is when they send someone out, no matter how many they need to send out, it's still that single rate. Like we had 3 of his staff come out to catch up things, and that's still that same rate. So you're not paying like, you know what I mean, like each individual. You're bringing out as a team as many as we need to like Nat just said, everything caught up this past week for us. Correct.
Well, again, we're serving in different capacities here in the borough, okay, if I remember correctly. We're serving as a zoning officer, where
Right.
Steve is serving as a zoning
Right.
officer, and I have an individual assigned for the residential building inspection,
Okay.
and an individual assigned for the fire marshal duties, and also he's the commercial inspector.
They're not necessarily all here at the same time.
Right.
That's correct, that's correct,
So for each thing we need, someone's assigned for that specific thing.
that's correct.
And all 4 of them are $65 an hour.
3, that's correct. Well, it's $65 per hour per person. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's, each individual bills at the hourly rate. But again, if you have 2 inspections for residential work, they're here for an hour at least. You only get billed for the time that they're here.
Anyone else have any questions for him? Thank you, and thank you for your work on the zoning meeting for us. Appreciate you coming out. and getting-
Oh, okay, yeah, that was
Thank you.
just hours' notice, and
We've already put Rich and his people to work, even without a contract.
Yeah. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
okay, if you don't have any other questions, thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming out.
Before you leave the podium, though, the solicitor has reviewed the agreement. If council has any questions about the solicitor's agreement, and we can make some comments, but Rich, before you leave, we need to talk about fee schedule.
Yeah, hi. We reviewed it, we changed I discussed it with Rich, the identification on number 9 to make it mutual identification. We're not just indemnifying them, they're also indemnifying us. Other than that, the agreement is good to go. It's council's consideration.
Okay, thank you.
So if the council's comfortable with the agreement, you could entertain a motion to approve it and authorize the council president and manager to execute the documents.
Okay,
We need to do a public comment first.
Yes.
yes. You want to wait till after public comments to do that?
Well, you should have a motion and a second, and then open it up for comment.
Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the service agreement contract with Keystone Municipal? So moved.
Second.
Second?
Who moved?
I don't know.
Who seconded?
And I can open that for public comment on that? Jane Berger, 90 West Maple Avenue, Morrisville, Pennsylvania. Imagine, this is public comment right now just for this motion. You are then going to have another general public comment? Yes. Okay. Coincidence, many people know that my little bungalow has an apartment upstairs, and I needed a UNO for the tenant coming in, and that happens today. And I do want to tell you that the gentleman that came was very professional. He had the checklist of everything to, check off, all my smoke detectors, and check the stove to make sure it had that safety bracket or whatever.
Anti-tip.
Right, it was there. So it's a safety thing. So I just want to say that it was very professional and courteous. Not to say anyone in the past wasn't, but just to show that this individual is, I think, doing a fair job, having had first-hand experience in terms of UNOs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to comment on the Keystone Agreement?
Question, I think that's it. When you come out for like a UNO or something, is a fee paid by the owner or whoever's moving in? How does that get broken up? Does it go straight to you or is it split?
Can you just identify yourself for the record and your address? Just for
Purple
the
Tennis
section
Street
line.
on Melvin Court North.
Perfect. Thank you. No, you're great.
All the fees dealing with building inspection and resale UNOs will come through the borough. Nothing gets paid to Keystone directly, period.
Is there a split of it, like 65 per hour, is that flat, and there's no split of the fees, or does the fees go?
Our billings are strictly by the hour.
Okay, so there's not like a 60, 70, 30 split, 40 split, or something, okay.
No, sir.
That's great, but thank you.
Anyone else wish to comment? Okay. Public comment will be closed on that then? Okay, now we would like to take a vote on this, do a roll call vote.
Mr. Bowers?
Yes.
Mr. Eisbach?
Yes.
Ms. Chronicle?
No.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Mr. Parker?
No.
Mr. Pepitone?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Yeager?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-2.
Did you want to comment?
Yes, Rich, again, the fee schedule issue.
We did talk briefly with Scott today in regard to establishing a fee schedule for Morrisville. Again, that is something that we do for municipalities under a separate agreement, establishing fee schedule. And the short dissertation on fee schedules is that when you have an opt-in community, there are specific program fees that are beyond the outsourced cost, okay? Those program fees need to be established, and those program fees include the costs of the in-house costs for the community. All your secretaries, all your code administrators, we break it down all the way down to computers that are available to the code department in a 3- and 5-year software and hardware depreciation, any vehicles that you have, any code books that you need to buy, everything that is included to have an opt-in program. We establish that program cost. We look at a number of different scenarios, from a new single-family detached dwelling, a 2,500 square foot tenant fit-out for a commercial facility, a deck, a shed, a number of applications. And we go through and figure out how much time it takes the outsourced cost to do that project. In addition to that cost, that program cost gets added to it. And then we tweak a fee schedule to make sure that you're meeting the costs that you need for those specific projects. Okay? It is a full evaluation, and once we come up with that number, we then go and we collect the fee schedules from every community that touches you to establish an average in the geographical region to make sure that your costs are not out of line with the other communities.
Okay.
And again, then we provide you with a draft fee schedule that meets those needs. But it is a full evaluation that really needs to be done in order to establish your fee schedule.
Right.
okay? Now,
Unless someone knows different, I don't know that anyone has ever done a true analysis
most
of
communities, I'm being perfectly
in-house
honest,
costs
Yeah.
associated with issuing various permits.
most communities pull the fee schedules from around the neighboring communities and add 5% and pull up their fee schedule without any evaluation, without any backup, without any true idea of what the costs are.
And while it's not meant to be a profit center, it should at least not be a drain on the municipal budget. We should break even or maybe even
Right.
come out a little bit ahead, but,
You should break even.
tough one.
To make sure you're covering your costs.
Absolutely.
So we,
And that is an evaluation that we've done, I'm gonna say maybe 12 or 14 times in the past 5 or 6 years for our communities.
so unless anyone here knows different, I've not been able to determine whether or not this analysis has ever been done to make sure that our fee schedule is basically fully loaded and represents our true costs associated with it, so that it's not a drag on the budget. So that's what Rich would like to do for you, but there is an extra cost for that.
Normally, that runs about $2,500.
But you're gonna, small town, charm, I'll buy you a pizza next time you're here.
And root beer?
Everything will throw the
There's no consideration there.
I didn't hear anything.
So what do you think, Rich? I mean, come on.
We will, we'll generate a fee schedule for $1,500.
So if council is willing to go along with an amount not to exceed $1,500, Keystone will do that for us. Meantime, we're operating under the previously enacted fee schedule. So it's not like we don't know what to charge people, and no, we're not charging people for permits. We're just operating under the old one.
So, a motion should be. Do you want to say the motion or just?
Sure, motion to,
We wait till next week,
Well,
so we can get it in writing and.
Is there a time frame for that?
could we do?
It can be done within 30 to 60 days.
so if you'd like to entertain a motion tonight, you're gonna move to authorize Keystone Municipal Services to conduct an analysis and help us create a modified fee schedule.
And we give you an executive summary with that report, as well as all the spreadsheets and full evaluations, along with a draft fee schedule for your consideration.
Not to exceed a cost of $1,500. That's your motion.
So then you'll have something drafted for us, and then we could actually, we'll do the motion and have a vote it. then
Right.
Tuesday?
That's
Okay.
correct. Well, not for Tuesday.
Oh.
I can have
No,
a,
no, but-
Tuesday.
yeah, I can have a letter of
To allow
proposal
you
for
to-
you for Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, so we have something in writing, is what I'm saying,
So we
not,
put that on the agenda.
right. Do we need to do a motion on tonight for it too, or just wait till Tuesday?
No, we'll just put it on the agenda
Okay.
for
All right.
Tuesday's meeting. Thank you, Rich.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
You have to sign.
Yeah, we will execute these tonight before we leave. The next presentation is Nancy.
Yeah, the next presentation will be Nancy Hess. She's going to be, her company will be doing give you a talk about her company and what they're going to do for a manager search for us. So she's going to talk about her proposal and how that all works. So, you're welcome.
Thanks. So, if you have a copy of the proposal for you, I'll just go over some brief highlights of the proposal. And just tell you a little bit about my background. I've been working, I think it's 3 decades now, with local government in Pennsylvania on issues around organization development, management, working on job descriptions, compensation, personnel policy, just a lot of areas that touch on this the management of the municipality. It's only been really the last several years that it's become so clear to me of the need for really good diving deeper into the search process for management, because as you, I'm sure have heard, the pipeline is very thin in terms of professional managers around the state of Pennsylvania. It's on more, some say it is in a crisis level. So I became more serious in being able to help clients with their search process. And I point this out to you because I do want to stress that I think that distinguishing aspect of what I can bring to this is a background in a very broad human resource management aspect of municipal management. I understand the work of the municipal manager. All of my relationships over these decades have been with municipal managers. So they know me, I know them, I understand what it is that makes them want to go someplace. You know, I know what they're interested in. So what I did is I partnered, and I'm sorry Scott's not able to be here. We have another search going on, and he's meeting tonight for final interviews for another client of ours. But I teamed up with Scott Fiore of TriStar, who has a very good reputation, also decades of doing specific work around search and recruitment. So he's really the expert in how to do the mechanics of assessment and the broad scope of what it takes to do a thorough search, and also the aspect all the way down to the negotiating of the package and the compensation. You know, we work together a lot, but our particular areas are just a little bit different. So this proposal reflects, while we have put together and has been successful in doing a thorough search, we find that working with the body, the elected body, sometimes they're far enough along, they say, we want you to work with a search committee that they've already put together. This proposal assumes that that first session where Scott and I would work with you is to actually go through the process and assess sort of where you are at in terms of your needs. Are you very clear in terms of what you're looking for in a candidate? Are you very clear in terms of what you want them to be doing? Or are you maybe, can we work with you a little bit to clarify that? Because it's going to make all the difference in the world in terms of how we think about who's going to be a good fit. I think the key in what I see in so many municipalities is that they're not sure how to get over that gap of just trying to fill the position and get to the point where there can be somebody who is really interested in what you're interested in. There are a lot of different skill packages and a lot of different types of experience and a lot of different types of management style. So we know you want a professional municipal manager, but beyond that, what are some of the types of competencies that you're looking for? So what I want to say to you is that when that first workshop occurs, based on how that goes, and we will work through, you have a detailed proposal, but Scott and I are very similar in our approach and our philosophy. If you say to us, we really know what we want, we don't know that we need all of this in here, we're going to work through that with you. We don't intend to exceed this price, but we will work with you in terms of your level of need, and if it's less than this, we will work that through on that first workshop. One of our clients, we just met with Stroudsburg, and they had this concern, and they said, what if like the perfect candidate walks in and we decide halfway through the process, we're done. We know we've got the right person. That's fine. We're going to close out the project with the hours that we put in, but we're going to work with you to get to that point. There are also some additional, you see and hear some addendum. Scott is very good with assessments. Some clients really like to do a whole battery of assessments. Some clients don't. So those are some areas of, again, we would find out what your area of need is. My area of specialty tends to be working with management groups or councils or elected bodies. If they are still not on the same page in terms of some of their big picture goals, the thing that's going to really excite somebody to come here is to understand what it is that they're going to be working on. What are some of the big picture goals that the elected body has. So we really want to work through that if that's something that is turns out to be part of what you have here in terms of your work. I'm not sure, I'm not familiar enough. Debbie and I had a chance to talk, but I think you're somewhat new as a body. So there may be some of that we can work through in the workshop. Some of the big picture visioning that helps, again, to broadcast. This is why you want to come to Morrisville. This is what makes us a little distinct, a little different. Also, both of us, but in particular, for me, I work through the public administration programs at the colleges, the Villanova, Penn State, Westchester, so that I also understand those avenues of candidates, people that have been sort of out of the program 5 years that are ready perhaps to take on management positions. So we try to really tap into the professional manager network. Scott and I will be doing a workshop for the Professional Managers Association at APMM in February in Bedford Springs. So I can tell you, we will have the top tier managers with us in about 3 or 4 weeks in the workshop. So we will work our network, and we want to be able to represent you and try to garner a good candidate pool for you. That is what you would be hiring us to do, is to really create a good candidate pool and to help you to conduct your professional process, because that makes all the difference in the world. When somebody comes, they want to say, that was a professional process. I want to work with this group. They want to feel that, and you want to eliminate any appearance of political decision-making, so we can really help to sort of neutralize some of that. And so when the decision is made, you know you've got the person that is really a best fit for you, which is, be confident about that is really where you want to be.
Nancy, can you give them an idea of how many municipal executive searches you've done in recent memory?
Well, that not a huge number, because Scott and I recently partnered, and if he was here, he might give you a clear picture. What I can do is give you, because over the period of my time, I have worked with a lot of clients, but not done the specific search recruitment which Scott does. He does the whole technical piece. I am like, tell me what you want, and I work my network. I have never formalized it until this past year. So Dan Zimmerman at Warwick Township would be an excellent reference. He's worked with both of us for decades. Stroudsburg, there's also, who am I missing? Well, Middletown Borough outside of Harrisburg is one. I'm trying to think of another one. We've just currently.
If I can interrupt a second, I believe you came recommended by somebody at the PSAB as well.
Yeah.
Ed Knittel, he's known me for years, so he has, and that's really what happened. He just, began calling me saying, can you do this search? There's too many for us to handle here. And so I just decided to take it the next step and really partner with a professional who does just this. And so.
I like to think positively, but what happens if you don't produce or recruit a candidate that they want?
Well, if you reject if we get a pool together and you go through the pool and don't see a candidate, that would be a matter of enlarging the pool. If the pool gets whittled down and there's, say 5 to 8 that you do an intense interview with, and there is still no one there, we go back to the drawing board. It's still under this proposal. So the process is a good process. There's nothing, this is I mean, I can pass this question on to Scott. I don't know if he's ever had to do it beyond the initial process. Usually you know from the pool of the candidate, if you see the candidate pool and you can't get down to 5, you know it's not time yet to close in. So that's, you just keep, working until you get enough qualified people in there to get it down to those last few.
And I'm sorry to do all the talking here, but you're not proposing to do a nationwide search when there's not moving or relocation expense being offered as part of the package.
Those
So
are the
it's
kinds
a
of criteria that will come out
regional,
in that first workshop. You are situated very nicely here. You have a very active public administration program, two schools near you. There's people in this area. There's the New Jersey, Pennsylvania APMM Association. They are the premier professional managers in this region. So you have your associations, your boroughs associations in these areas. So you're situated pretty well. But the first workshop will go through the extent to which you want to, how far you want to reach.
So,
Yeah.
when I was reading your proposal, from what I can see and when I spoke with you, each municipality you work with, when you have that first work session, either the group decides exactly what you would need or what they want from that list.
Right.
Correct, is how it's then
Yes.
formulated for what your particular
We'll go
need is.
through that process and you can say, we think this is what we need and we don't need this other.
Right.
That's exactly what will come out. I mean, we'll do a lot more in that first workshop. It's a lot of dialogue, a lot of us being able to sort of interact with you. But to answer your question, that would be the time when you can really narrow the scope, if you'd like.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Well, just for the public's knowledge, looking at your summary here, will you charge $125 an hour and your project cost summary is $12,375? You also have additional expenses for travel. Looks like you're coming from Lancaster and/or Hershey.
Yes.
Have you ever worked in a situation where that was capped at all, both the expenses and or the project cost?
Well, you don't see any expenses on there. There's no meal expenses, there's no overnight expenses.
No, but there's travel.
So just the travel time, that's right. But what would happen, I think, in that workshop is there is some discussion around, for instance, if you don't need us to do the interviews, you may feel perfectly fine. Once we, work through the interview process, you don't need us to come. And that would narrow that scope that way, so that travel would not be necessary. If you need us to come.
Well, that's
it'd be
55 cents per mile. I'm not really concerned too much about that.
Okay.
But it would be nice to have a cap on that. I think that's really important because that can get out of hand.
The time's not charged.
But no, I understand, but the $125 an hour, and again, your project cost summary is